Hey everybody, this is Deborah again. I want to talk to you today about using WordPress. Now, if you've been here a while, you've heard me say that every business should have a blog. I truly believe every business will benefit from a blog for several different reasons. It gives you something that you can then draw people in from social media to your website. But today what I want to talk about is what I recommend as far as putting a blog together. I recommend WordPress. I always recommend WordPress. Whether you are a large company or a small company or a solopreneur, I always recommend WordPress. And there are three big reasons why. People ask me, why do I recommend that? Three big reasons. One of them, the first one is that there are lots of people who are using WordPress. We started using it 3, 4, 5 years ago. It just really took off like wildfire because it's so easy to use. It is so easy to put a website together. You don't need to know code. These days, everybody still uses WordPress, and there's a lot of people who know how to use WordPress. So why that's a benefit to you is that if you're not going to put your own website together, if you're going to hire someone to do it, if you hire them to put together a WordPress website, then they are going to be able to start not from scratch, but from a template. So you'll be able to keep the price down. Also, the other reason why it's really important that so many people know how to use WordPress is because let's say you put your website or your blog together this year. Let's say 2 years down the road, whoever helped you put it together is no longer around, they've taken a job in another part of the country, then you need to be able to find someone who can now step in very quickly and make changes to your website. If you have a WordPress website, that makes that so much easier because you can call, there are going to be numerous people in your area, no matter where your area is, I guarantee you, who know how to use WordPress and who can help you out very easily. And that will keep the cost down, which is what all of us want to be cognizant of for sure. Second reason why I always recommend WordPress is because it has some really interesting, it's very flexible. It's built in a way that you don't need to know code to put a website together. The people who create the code have put this framework together. So what happens is that when you want to add something different to your website, like you want to add a calendar, an events calendar to your website, you don't have to call and have someone program that. You simply have to look for a plugin. It's a little piece of programming. You click a couple buttons. It goes in and installs exactly the way it needs to onto your website. And then you set up some settings. There are lots of plugins that do lots of different things. Some of them will be photo galleries or some of the sliding galleries. There's just lots of little pieces of kind of like a website puzzle that you can put the puzzle pieces in that you need and fit them together to make your site. So that's another reason. It saves you quite a bit that you don't have to have all these things programmed. There's a lot of different, almost everything I want my website to do, I can find a plugin that will do it. So flexibility is very important. Now the third reason I always recommend WordPress, and this is a really big one as well, is because the SEO feature is just phenomenal. You know you want Google to find your website. You want Google to bring it up to the top of searches. And you do that by having keywords in your website. Well, it used to be you had to make sure your programmer knew what your keywords were and put them in the website, and then you're good to go. But now it's not that way. Now it's a little different. Now you're putting keywords in all the time with your blog posts, so it's giving you all these opportunities for Google to see you. WordPress is designed in a way that Google really understands it. WordPress knows what Google wants, knows where they want the words, and so WordPress will show us, here are the places we want you to tell us what the keywords are and put them in, and Google will find it. Google's very good at finding the headings. Google's very good at finding the titles. And so that is why many of my posts rank much faster with my blog than they would on a plain programmed website. And it's because of this feature. I don't have to work quite as hard to get those keywords in there. WordPress does it for me. And so you'll see that you will rise faster with a WordPress website in the Google rankings. So those are the three reasons why I always recommend WordPress. One thing I will tell you is I'm always watching and looking to see that if something better comes out and people are using it and it's successful, I would start recommending something else. But it has been just very consistently that WordPress is just what everybody's using. So many people are using it because of these reasons. And it's a great answer to a lot of small businesses who just need to try to keep that budget down as far as possible, and WordPress really helps you do that. So Go out there now and pump up your profits with social media.